Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors fans should prepare for obvious Kuminga narrative after contract holdout. The rookie extension deadline passed on Monday without a new contract agreement between the Golden State Warriors and fourth-year forward Jonathan Kuminga. Understandably, both teams had different motivations that ultimately couldn't be sorted through prior to the deadline. Kuminga is backing himself to develop and earn more than what the Warriors were offering, and the franchise itself would like to see more from the 22-year-old before giving anything close to a max contract. Whereas fellow fourth-year lottery pick Moses Moody secured his future with a 3-year, $39 million extension with Golden State, Kuminga will now enter next offseason as a restricted free agent. Just as we saw with Klay Thompson throughout last season, Kuminga's future is sure to be an ongoing storyline. Although he can no longer sign a contract in season as Thompson could have, there will remain similar conjecture on Kuminga's future with the franchise. Whether rightly or wrongly, his play throughout the season will be accompanied by the conversation of how it will impact his and Golden State's free agency plans. Moody now has a poison pill contract, which makes him very difficult to move in a trade this season, yet the same can't be said for Kuminga. Regardless of how he's playing, it's inevitable that there will be some form of trade speculation regarding the former 7th overall pick, something that's been fairly common over his first 3 seasons in the league anyway. Kuminga's trade value may have been diminished though, with any team that does want to acquire him essentially accepting that they'll have to pay at least $20 to $25 million per year, more likely $30+ million, in free agency to keep him around long term. Could the Warriors still use Kuminga as a key piece in a blockbuster trade before February's midseason deadline? Again, that idea will surely be floated, particularly if Kuminga and/or Golden State get off to a less than ideal start, and the need for a genuine second star becomes even more obvious. For now, Kuminga should still have the opportunity with Golden State to become that second star, increase his value, and push to get the contract he desires come the offseason. The talented forward is expected to start for the Warriors in Wednesday's season opener against the Portland Trail Blazers, with head coach Steve Kerr having showed an increased willingness to play and start Kuminga at the 3 over the course of the preseason. Report: Stephen Curry passes LeBron James as NBA's top earner. Golden State Warriors star guard Stephen Curry is projected to bring in the most money among NBA players this season from his salary and off-court endeavors, Sportico reported Tuesday. Curry, the league's all-time leader in the three-pointers, is expected to make roughly $155.8 million, per the report. That would top the $133.7 million that Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James is supposed to earn. No player had earned more money than James in each of the past 11 seasons, per Sportico. Kobe Bryant was the last player to finish above James, back in 2012-13. Among the companies Curry endorses are JP Morgan Chase, Panini, and Fanatics. Curry has also founded a media business and venture capital firm to add to his bankroll. The Phoenix Suns' Kevin Durant, $97.9 million, is on track to be the 4th highest earner during the 2024-25 campaign, and he is sandwiched between Milwaukee Bucks stars Giannis Antetokounmpo, the 3rd highest earner at $103.8 million, and Damian Lillard, 5th highest at $66.8 million. The top 15 players in the NBA are projected to combine for $1.13 billion in salaries and endorsement deals, a rise of 11% from the prior season, according to Sportico. The Golden State Warriors have a big issue they spent much of the offseason trying to address, yet to no avail as we now sit just days away from the start of training camp. There's no reliable co-star for Stephen Curry. The gap between the two ex-MVP and the Warriors' next best player is the size of the ocean, and even then Draymond Green is far more defender and playmaker than he is scorer. Golden State know it. They tried to lure Paul George then Lauri Markkanen, but were unable to complete a trade with the LA Clippers and Utah Jazz, respectively. It leaves the question of if Green is still considered the second-best player, who is ultimately the second-best scorer behind Curry. Klay Thompson remained that last season, albeit Jonathan Kuminga was close to, if not fully took the mantle over the second half of the season. Most would therefore suggest that with more opportunity and another off-season of development, the fourth-year forward is ready to ascend and be the 20-plus point per game scorer the Warriors need him to be. Golden State Warriors' chances of Jimmy Butler trade with Miami Heat boosted. Jimmy Butler's Miami Heat future has been a matter of discussion since reports emerged earlier in the summer that he wanted a contract extension. One that he was ultimately not handed by the organization. One can understand the Heat's reluctance to commit to a long-term deal when it comes to Butler. He has a history of injury problems and recently turned 35. Staying fit is not going to get any easier as he approaches his late 30s. The message has been quite clear. Butler needs to prove that he can remain fit, and then, the Heat might consider handing him an extension. Now though, there seems to be another twist in the tale. It has emerged that Butler is now aiming for a longer-term contract than initially thought. Butler is already eligible for a 2-year contract extension worth about $113 million. But a report from Anthony Chang in the Miami Herald goes on to read, the expectation at this point is that Butler will pass on the extension even if the Heat offers it, according to sources, and then opt out of his current contract to become a free agent next summer. In the scenario that Butler does opt out of his contract and become a free agent next summer, the 35-year-old will be eligible to sign a 4-year max contract extension projected to be worth about $243 million with the Heat, or a max 3-year contract worth $171 million with another team. Of course, if indeed accurate, then that gives the Heat a lot more to think about and certainly raises the chances of them considering a potential trade involving Butler. As Peter O'Keefe writes on Blue Man Hoop, if Butler is indeed unwilling to recommit to the Heat, then surely the franchise would have to do its due diligence in exploring trade options rather than potentially lose the 6x All-Star for nothing in free agency. The Warriors could be towards the front of the queue if that does eventuate. The Golden State Warriors are the team most heavily linked with a move for Butler in recent days. That is largely because the franchise are in need of a superstar to team with Steph Curry after Klay Thompson left in the summer. Just like Butler, Curry also has a few years of his prime left. The Warriors need to do everything possible to make sure that they surround him with a roster that is capable of challenging for a ring. Adding Butler to the mix would certainly boost the Warriors' championship chances. Although, it would be interesting to see what they are willing to give up for him. There have been rumors that they were not willing to include Jonathan Kuminga in a potential trade for Paul George. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.